All right, welcome back to the One Bar in Lupagus show. I am One Bar with Lupagus, and I am remote today in a room of pine.
That's a lot of pine around you. How's the smell?
It smells like pine. It's fresh pine, fresh pine.
Wow. Are
You know what
you
else is?
okay? Are you there under your own free will, or are you being held hostage?
I am. If I wink with my left eye 3 times, it means to come and save me.
Oh my God, I'll be there in a heartbeat.
Well, let's talk about some news. Nick Easton, guard,
Yeah.
a position that the Vikings obviously need. A very familiar name with the Vikings is officially on the market. The Saints have let him go, let his services go. Are you excited?
I am excited because why not? Nick Easton, it was kind of surprising when the Saints signed him from the Vikings. Everybody kind of thought he was going to re-sign. There was a little bit of a Vikings to Saint exodus that year. I think Latavius Murray went, Nick Easton went, Marcus Sherrills went. They were just sniping all of our guys, and now that's over. And yeah, I'm definitely interested in Nick Easton and his services.
Yeah, Nick Easton, it seems like he's been gone for a while, but he's only been gone 2 years. The Saints ended up signing him to a 4-year, $24 million. And I think the Saints just overpaid for him to the point where the Vikings couldn't compete. Max Unger just retired, so the Saints were a little bit desperate. That was unexpected. We know Nick Easton can play guard/center, so it was perfect for the Saints. And they just outbid us. And I got to be honest, when he went to the Saints, a team that I do not like, I was not happy with Nick Easton. Very angry towards Nick Easton.
Well, and it makes sense that they're moving on now. They drafted Eric McCoy, I think, the same year. They signed Nick Easton. They drafted Cesar Ruiz last year. So they got some younger guys they can go with now. Easton, now, he did not grade out very well. And I know we've talked about our PFF grades and how we feel about those in the past, but I think he ranked at like 59.0 something, which I'm pretty sure is 50 points higher than Drew Samia or Dakota Dozier last year. So let's just make that known and be aware of that.
Yeah, and a big thing with Nick Easton, another reason why the Vikings were probably a little bit shy to give this guy money, because the Vikings clearly like this guy. He's a guy who can play anywhere. He played well for the Vikings. He was kind of a diamond in the rough, but he was coming off that neck injury, and it was kind of up in the air on how good he was going to play. And over the last 2 years, he started 15 games for the Saints. He's played in 22 of them. He's played, I mean, his grade hasn't been great, but last year, or in 2020, he gave up 2 sacks. I'm pretty sure Drew Samia did that in the first quarter he played. The year before that, he gave up 1 sack. He's a better run blocker than pass blocker. He's not great, but he's good.
Well, and that's what we need. We don't need a freaking Pro Bowler. Let's remember, our offense ranked 4th in the league last year with horrible play at the left guard position and half the season at the right guard position. If we can get to okay, that is a huge upgrade. So if Nick Easton is a cheap option who gets us to okay at left guard, that's a huge win for the Vikings.
Yeah, and he's only 28 years old. For some reason, in my mind, it seems like he's like 47 years old, but he's only 28. Obviously, the neck thing is not an issue. And it's gonna be interesting to see what he makes. I mean, the Saints threw $6 million at him when there was a little bit of a question mark for injuries. He's coming off a couple of decent seasons. He can play guard/center, so he's still gonna make some decent money. But $6 million, I don't know.
No, I think he's gonna be dirt ass cheap, and we're gonna sign him by next week.
Well, I'd be curious. I wonder how Nick Easton feels about the Vikings. He had it down to the Vikings and the Saints and some random third team when he signed with the Saints. So clearly there's no ill will towards the Vikings. He wasn't like, screw you, I'm just going somewhere else. So we still have the same coaching staff. We still have a lot of the same guys. It would be wonderful if he was open to coming back to the Vikings and he came here, because I love the fact of going towards a guy like Nick Easton. We're not going to get Joe Thuney. We're not going to get Brandon Sheriff. So go for a guy like this where it's going to cost a little bit and still a chance where we could still sign an edge rusher or somebody like that.
Yeah, I think the reason he left was his offer from the Saints was so big. No one expected him to get that kind of money. I don't think he probably expected it. To get that kind of offer probably blew him out of the water, and that was definitely made him move on, which makes sense. They can't blame him for getting paid. Yeah, I'd love to see the Vikings sign this guy, and then maybe it cools off. Not that Nick Easton's the answer, but maybe it cools off this Elijah Vera Tucker at 14 kind of talk, because no one is a fan of that. But you get at least a veteran in there, and then you can look to draft the guy in the 3rd, 4th round that you can groom a little bit to start down the road. So kind of a bridge option right now. Yeah, but 28 years old. But you got to factor in that and his bad year last year and his neck injury. I don't think there's gonna be a super hot market for Nick Easton. So come back to some familiarity might be very attractive to him.
Yeah. I mean, if we were to sign Nick Easton, it'd be interesting to see what they do. I mean, Riley Reef, they're restructuring him. He's coming back. Ezra Cleveland, Nick Easton's a left guard / center. So they'd have to figure something out there where maybe they boot Ezra over to the right. Maybe put Nick Easton over the right. I think he's played both. And that already sounds 10 times better as far as an offensive line.
I think you got, they get Reef the extra $1 million, so they're gonna keep him around. So you got Reef, and then I think Easton will go left guard. You got Bradbury center, right guard Cleveland, and right tackle O'Neal. That's a way better O line than we had last year. So this makes sense. We'll see what happens, but I think we definitely both have shown how we feel about it, and we both want Nick Easton back.
Nick Easton, realizing that he's not going to be a savior, he is kind of a stopgap. Maybe we take a guard in round 3, round 4, break the streak of shit guards in the mid rounds for the Vikings. But Easton, if we sign him to like a 2-year contract, I think it would be a win-win, and just with the hopes of getting good guard play, which is a huge improvement.
Absolutely. Way to sum that up. Let me ask you a question that has nothing to do with Nick, but has something to do with Easton. Did you prefer a Mizuno bat in baseball or an Easton bat?
I'm glad you asked that. Nobody liked Mizuno bats. They were goofy looking. They were weird. They sounded weird. Easton, all day. I would have picked up a bomb bat before a Mizuno.
I had a bomb bat. I know a guy who would pick a Mizuno, and I think you know him even better than I do. And that's Maitland Dunlap.
He never showed weakness. He grabbed that Mizuno in a second. I'm pretty sure it weighed 47 ounces, and he still picked it up.
Hell yeah. Hell of a bunter, Maitland was. All right, that's it. We both want Nick Easton back at a really nice price. Come back, Nick. We missed you. We didn't want to see you go in the first place. We need you. Cheap option, upgrade the Vikings online. We're definitely on board with that. We'll be back tomorrow with some kind of amazing video. One bar, you stay safe out there. Remember, I will be FaceTiming you every hour watching those winks. That was 4. I know you're okay. If I see 3, I'll be there with a shovel and some lube. All right.
Thank you.
All right, here's a little fact for you guys to chew on. Vin Diesel's name is an anagram for I End Lives.